I would rather. Okay, hear me out. RGB gamer toilet.
The only vision I'm getting is South Park Warcraft episode. Man, bathroom.
Oh God, no! But like, imagine you have the fans going, so it's like constantly like airing out the stink. You got like, those tablets that turn like the water in a toilet blue, so it's like cleaning it at the same time. You have that in there, but it changes colors because it's RGB. You can change it to any color you want. And while you're there, like, it's got like a little pocket for like your Steam Deck, so you can actually play games as you're taking a gamer shit.
Jesus, that's as bad as like those. Have you seen the gaming bed where like the people can be in bed
God.
and like leans up? Desk thing comes in to where they have their monitors and everything, or like their console like leans in, they're playing it, it goes away, lays down, and then it even has an option to raise them and move them out of bed into a toilet.
That's just a new form of contraception.
I mean,
That's just all it is.
Hey, you know what? I'll get you one.
I don't need it.
You would see it, it'd be like, with great power comes great response. You know, I'm diving in.
With great power comes great. Hold on, Pornhub, go. Considering this is going to be the episode, I think that it should only start this way. There's no other way it could have started.
Heyo. So, well, what he's saying is, hey, everybody, I'm James.
I'm John.
And this is Games with John and James, your number one stop for ridiculous video game podcast content. Do you or do I, John?
Do we want to break the news? We want to just break it out right now? Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
We're going to need a bigger podcast. No. So those who follow the Twitter or the socials, they might have noticed that there wasn't a new episode for the past couple of weeks, and that's because we're adults with jobs and sometimes duty calls, and we need to go and handle that. James broke it to me over a couple of weeks ago and said, I will be traveling for work an absurd amount over the course of this year, and that puts our recording time a little bit in jeopardy. So we had to have the grown-up conversation about, do we continue the show? Because with how many solo episodes that would be, or how much added workload that would be, what would that look like? And we have come to the conclusion that this, for the time being, will be the final episode of the Games with John and James podcast.
Na, 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye.
And cut to ending theme song now. No, I'm kidding. But so we just wanted to, in order to, kind of wake the podcast, I guess. It's not morning because it's not dead, but to wake the podcast, we just wanted to just, talk about some of our best memories and favorite times we had doing the show. So after the musical break, I think we'll be getting into that. What do you say?
Yeah, join us for some reminiscing, good times, wonderful memories, and even before the music, just remember, come back and listen, meat sponges.
Why didn't we call our fans that? How many? Are you sponge worthy? Did you get that right? Okay, never mind. Let's cut to the music. Also, can you tell? I wonder if the audience, because you actually have a pop filter now, the final episode, and you finally get a new mic and a pop filter, and it's just killing me on the inside. But also, I find it funny that I wonder if the audience, I wonder if the meat sponges at home can hear it in our voices how sad we sound, because it's like, wow, yeah, it's the last time we get to talk about like games and stuff. I mean, like, not like we're dying, like we're still gonna be friends after this, but
This is the last time I will ever talk to John, and I want him to know Mad Max style.
no, it's I'm gonna to further cement my love of the original God of War and my hatred of the new one. I'm gonna just quote the first game to be like, the podcast gods of Olympus have abandoned me. Now there is no hope. And so John cast himself from the highest mountain of Olympus. It's like, okay. Yeah,
The- yeah, oh my gosh. You know
the
what?
highest peak. Because he walked up them stairs. Who remembers
for,
that?
For your birthday, I'm going to get you a 2-pack. God of War, God of War.
And I will use them as coasters.
Hey, you can't say that because I did recommend a game and you actually saw that game through. And I feel like you
Yes.
enjoyed it for the most part.
Okay, yeah, I think that's going to be the first actual story, like new stuff before we go into old stuff. So we had issued the challenge at the start of this year that I would play Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. That's the name of the game. I did. I actually did, and there were things about it that I thought were good. I thoroughly loved the TLDR function. That was great because I don't need frickin' characters standing around anime grunting in order to communicate a story. The open worldness, like the actual biomes you went to, they were quite fun. The sand one, where you're actually surfing on the sand and you fight a giant golem, like that's great. There are lots of cool moments in this game, but as it kind of winded on and like the I'm not going to say hackneyed, but the kind of tropey story bits happened where like the evil swordsman is like another one that was rescued and plays Tamami and stuff, and they summon a dark god, and just like all the stuff that you expect, like, oh yeah, I played this already when it was Final Fantasy 16. I played this when it was Final Fantasy 7. I played this when it was Final Fantasy whatever. I played this when it was every other RPG. I'm just like, end, please. Please end. And like the guy with the glasses who is like the protagonist of the actual protagonist of the story, and we're watching him do all the cool like final fighty stuff that leads into the ultimate kind of showdown. I'm just like, why are we not playing as him? Why are we like observers in the story? Like, you know how like people can correct me if I'm wrong here, but like D&D, right? Like you have the paladin class, which is like, why would you want to play middle management to your whims in a video game or like in any type of game or a world? Like, why do you want to be an emissary of something in a world where like the cool stuff you could just do? Like, why do you want to be an observer to something as opposed to the person actually doing it? Like that always baffles me with stories like this. So that's my like complaint. But again, me complaining about a story in a JRPG is nothing new. So
I mean, I am just thoroughly impressed you actually saw that through to the end. And I got to give John extra credit. Even though it took him 6 months, he actually also saw through Final Fantasy 16. Like he finished that as well.
I thoroughly enjoyed 16. I thought it was good. Like all the stuff that I complained about in 7 Rebirth was just not present in that game for the most part. And I was like, good. Thank you. Thank you for taking out the bad. Thank you for only putting in the good.
I mean, did you enjoy it enough to get the DLC that's coming out here in April?
Not. I haven't gotten any of the DLC yet. I haven't returned to that game yet because I'm busy playing Contra. I'm also very tempted to go on my PS5 and buy another copy of Hi-Fi Rush because it's on there now.
Oh my goodness. Oh, did you try Foam Stars?
I never did. No, my bad.
I got to Platinum. Come on, step your game up.
Meet me in frickin' Splatoon. tear your ass up. No. But shoot, like the last time we talked, like some good games actually have come out. Like I mentioned Contra.
So we get to let you guys know kind of like the inner workings and everything of this episode. So John and I, like, we open up a video chat via Discord, and then we're recording a separate audio track. And I saw our last messages. I was like, I wonder what day that was. And that was February 18th. So we're talking over a month.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff has come out since then, and a lot of like it's funny because I feel like a lot of stuff has come out, but I'm only going to talk about one game, which I'm going to talk about Contra. So the new Contra came out by WayForward, published by Konami. Now, WayForward was the company that also made Contra 4, which is a great game. Hard is stupidly balls hard at the very end, like, you know, in an unfair way, but at the same time, still fun. Like, I've only beaten that game once to this day, and I'm just like, wow, that was a fluke. Anyway, so new Contra comes out, and it has health bars, and you can save your weapons, and it has level 2s and stuff like that, and I'm just like, okay, I get it. As soon as you try and play that game like a Contra game, it falls flat. But if you play it like a Gunstar Heroes type of game, you kind of see the light. So I can appreciate it for that. And if anybody listening knows what those, like, you know, how to discern that statement, then I know you're playing the game too.
Oh, man. I was also going to say, we have one final challenge to John, my meat sponges.
Oh, boy.
I'm surprised we didn't use that. You know, that was low-hanging fruit back in October of 2021 to forever use. And I know why we didn't use it, my meat sponges. Because John over here was like, you got to stop. No more meat sponge. And then I switched to Sonic Heroes.
We're already reminiscing about the old days and how not good they were.
No, but one final challenge to John. Because we both appreciate this company so much. Vanillaware came out with their latest, I'm going to honestly smash hit, Unicorn Overlord. You got to pick it up.
But Princess Peach just came out, and I even got the pink Joy-Cons to go with it.
You'll beat that game in like 5 minutes. It's a Nintendo platformer.
No, I won't, because one hand will be on the controller and the other hand will be somewhere else.
Oh, so John just let out his inner ooh.
Oh, God. No, I can actually do that voice, and no one wants to hear that.
I mean, hey, it's the last episode, John. Help our meat sponges understand.
No, I will. You know what? If we're good, if you behave, I will do it at the end.
But honestly, so I dove into Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. That was the most recent game that I beat, like in my brief windows of not traveling. And I decided to like load up a game from my backlog. So like Unicorn Overlord will be next for a new game, but I'm playing Dragon Quest XI finally, like all the way through, and that one's actually been enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, like that is the tried and true formula of like I of course, the person who loves JRPGs is going to love the game that is the Jest of JRPGs of all time.
Well, so I got the definitive edition S, right? You have the ability to go back and forth between 3D or 2D. So you can like streamline and speed up in 2D because everything condenses down. So it's just like, oh, hey, I get there faster. Or you can enjoy like the well thought out 3D worlds. And unlike other Dragon Quest games where sometimes there's that modicum of confusion where you're just like, I'm getting kind of frustrated. I don't know what to do. Help me out here. This one, you don't have that, so you actually get to fully enjoy it without wondering if you're being dumb.
I see.
And you get a horse right away. You legit just, it's like, hey, here's your mount. By the way, you can speed him up, you can make him gallop, and when you're doing that, you just run over enemies. Outside of the big ones, you will have to fight those.
So you can just run over slimes. So if you see a metal slime, you want to mount your horse and just be like...
No, you fight those for the experience. Nice try, John. Nice try.
Well, right, but when you say you just crush enemies, I'm just like, okay, so instant 2,000 XP. Bam.
No, you get no XP. That's the catch.
Oh, lame. Also, is the horse a princess, like in Dragon Quest VIII?
No, missed opportunity.
Sure, because I'm imagining the hero just being all like, this is going to be weird mounting the princess like this.
Oh my goodness. But no, it's...
You know, we have to get all of this out because this is going to be our most unhinged and unscripted, like, fun episode ever. So, yay.
I mean, no, we have to top the junk drawer first.
Oh, wow. Well, we have junk. I'll tell you where it is.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I honestly think you should pick up Unicorn Overlord. I think you will really enjoy it because it's going to build upon for you. So what we've learned from John over the years is time is money for John. If he can't enjoy the game in under 10 hours, usually that's his attention span.
It's not bad.
He will skip all JRPGs, but this one actually fully respects your time again, but it's also Vanillaware, and you
Yeah.
can't not support Vanillaware.
Yeah. I like the bouncy graphics. I like that.
So you were Dragon Crown's pro fan.
Oh, you have no idea.
So the only character he played is what he's saying was the sorceress.
Actually, no, I played as the knight. I played as the big beefy all shoulders knight.
That was a good like sit down couch co-op game.
It was. I actually did that when it first came out like 10, 12 years ago.
Oh man. But yeah, no, it's been yeah, this is weird. Like going full reminisce mode is just like, man, we had some moments.
Yeah, remember when I hated the Mario movie? Like, remember when that was the topic?
Actually, I do because I was talking with my brother the other day, and I was like, I forget what we were debating, and somehow like the Mario movie tied into what we were talking about, and I was like, it made $1.2 billion. So despite John hating it, I mean, cool, you didn't like it, but I made $1 billion.
Yeah, well, that just means that stupid people have more money than me. Anyway.
I mean, just wait till the Zelda movie.
Oh god, no. We're gonna have like Ganon in his pig form and he's gonna fart or some stupid bullshit, and I hate it already.
Hey, well, I mean, if you really want that, you still have Amazon, right?
Uh-huh.
On Amazon Prime, the Legend of Zelda cartoon with "Excuse me" is
You're not doing it right. Hold on. You're not doing it right. Hey, excuse me, princess. That's the voice.
good.
And also, I stand by that show. That show was good. I'm gonna say that right now. Like, that show was fun.
What were you watching? Like,
I was watching a fun cartoon for children because I also was a children once.
Look, I feel like Kids WB was there. You had your Felix the Cat, you had your Earthworm Jim, you had The Amazing Spider-Man, you had all those Kids WB shows. And instead of you watching that, you were the kid focused on Care Bears and Legend of Zelda.
It's called being an 80s child, but okay.
I'm more, bro, you have 1 year in the 80s.
I have 2 years.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have 2 years. I have 4.
So respect those 2 years. Look, I'm a total 90s kid, but through osmosis, I still loved like the Mario cartoons and the Sonic cartoons when I was, again, a baby. So I loved them then. But coming back to Zelda, I'm like, yeah, this is a fun adventure show with like, moonlighting as, the relationship between Zelda and Link. So it's cool.
I mean, something, super fighting robot.
That was a great show too. The freaking the voice of Goku was Mega Man, and that was awesome.
And well, since you mentioned that, we have to be real for a moment. Thoughts, prayers, respects, Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, that happened recently, and that is still something that like I don't think I've actually seen this much of like a positivity pouring out over someone's like passing in a long time. Like a universal like, man, this guy's work touched my life, like that kind of stuff.
To sum it up in the most holy crap way, Mexico, cartels, drugs, violence, like Mexico, there's a lot of that. The cartels in Mexico all declared a ceasefire stand down for 1 day to pay respect to Akira Toriyama. Let that sink in.
that I thought that was like fake, but if that is
No.
actually real, oh my god.
Nope, that happened.
Wow.
Like
All right.
how and then Toonami did that really awesome tribute with the OG Toonami voice.
Yep, they did. Steve
And then
Bloom is yeah.
everybody wanted to be a butt pirate and like, oh, you're airing Dragon Ball Z Kai early in the morning. Why not have it go all time? No, they aired Kai because Kai was Akira Toriyama's vision in its purest form. Didn't have any of the weird translation issues. Kai was what he wanted, and they aired what he would have wanted. So all of you people who wanted to lambast the decision, you are no longer part of Meat Sponge Emporium.
You're a beat sponge, if anything.
You're the opposite of sponge. You're a starfish.
Oh my god. They're devastated. They're devastated right now. They're crying. Anyway. But yeah, no, seriously. Last thing I'll really kind of say on it is I remember being a kid and discovering this stuff and being a fan and watching all the episodes, running home to it, and like one of my prized possessions, honestly, is when they released the Rock the Dragon collection, of which was like the original like 70 so episodes and 3 movies that had the original Canadian dub on DVD, and I still have those to this day. And I'm like, God, I just like one of my prized possessions, honestly, is I remember being a kid in the summer, and they had the Dragon Ball Z triple feature on Toonami. And I remember recording them on VHS, and I still have those tapes to this day. So if I want to have a nostalgia trip today, I'll go over to my freaking TV, DVD, VCR combo, pop that in, and watch crazy 90s commercials while I'm watching Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and hey, you got to make sure that you eat some gushers, and you got to make sure you have all of the other stuff that's probably going to give us cancer down the road.
Yeah, I'll have Gushers with me. I'll have a stack of like Goosebumps next to me, and I'll be wearing my Fresh Prince t-shirt.
Ooh,
No, I'll wear
wow.
that t-shirt that's like the styrofoam cup, that pattern on it. I'll do that.
While you have your pogs laid out so you can practice.
Yes, because I do have slammers. They're called challenge coins.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you ain't wrong. I got the coolest one of them all from the Super Bowl. I got a coin, a challenge coin from the Super Bowl.
From John Super Bowl himself. Wow.
I'll send you a photo on Monday when I'm at work. But yeah, it's Super Bowl 58 on it, and it is fat. It is big.
Yeah, it's a slammer.
It is the coin to end all coins.
Yeah, just drop it on someone's desk. It's just like your dick hitting the table.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. So if I drop a coin, so this is more inside knowledge for what we do. If I drop a coin and you don't have a coin, by tradition, what's supposed to happen?
By a round of drinks.
Exactly. Our chief will just walk through the office, cling, and our fridge in our shed / break room garage thing is loaded.
Yeah.
And
I have like, no doubt about that.
So I have learned at all times, keep a damn coin on me.
You know, I'm going to have to start doing that now. And
just
what I'll do,
just coin check people?
No. What I'll do is I'll keep my freaking like rehab coin that I got. Like in the interest of keeping it real, as we said, I was looking over the episode listings for our show. And I remember that stretch of time back in 2022 where, you know, and I don't know if this is going to bring down the mood or get too real, but like, I remember those months where I went to rehabilitation because I desperately needed some help. And,
we recorded some pretty cool Sonic episodes. We got to do like a top 10 Sonic games. That one was fun. And then, that was our guest host burst where good old Tony,
I still think about that line of just like every day we stray further from God's grace. I'm just like, we're already gone. Don't worry about that. But
and then Brandon as well, back-to-back episodes.
Yeah, and I wonder how he's doing. I'm gonna text him today. But yeah. So I just remember that stretch of time in my life where, like I'll be honest, like the struggle continues a little bit. But I think I have been doing vastly better than I was at that time in my life. So, like, I think even if I have been doing half of the kind of stuff I was doing to myself, that is amazing progress. And I have support in my life, and I have wonderful people in my life, and I have a lot more good habits in my life. I'm taking better care of myself. All these things are really good. But I just vastly remember how it felt to kind of be away in that time, and how it felt to come back and just be like real with people on the next episode. Like, I was in rehab, bro. Like, I remember my attitude about it. And no, I don't know. I just remember that being a very interesting time in my life that thankfully I got through, and hopefully will continue to only go up from here.
It's kind of wild going back through our episode list, because it's just like you see the episode and it kind of triggers poof memory. So our first episode, we didn't have two microphones. Our first episode, we were
sat around
of John's apartment. We set the microphone up to dual side. So I'm speaking, then John speaks, then I speak, then John speaks.
Yeah, and that was the day that the friggin' landscape crew came over to just make sure that they were mowing the lawn, like mowing the grass directly next to my window, even though I was on the third floor. So I don't get how that happened, but I remember that too.
They were mowing the air. They were cutting the air.
They were just making sure to like hold it up high, so in case it fell on them and cut them up, which is morbid. No, but I remember having a very heated discussion about the validity of having Breath of the Wild on that list versus Final Fantasy VII.
Let's be real. It was the Grand Theft Auto list.
It was, because it was fan based, so it's not like John IGN was just all like, here are my favorite games and only these ones count. It's like not like that. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I get it. If you let a bunch of freaking 5-year-olds online be like, Minecraft's the best game ever, it's like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah, I'll never forget Burnout 3 versus Chrono Trigger, and Burnout 1 79% to 21%.
Hey, look, let's be real. How many racetracks are in Chrono Trigger? Not many, just one. Just a straight line.
Hey, and that race against Johnny is good and has some of the best racing music ever.
Yep. Yeah, but it doesn't have the pop punk that Burnout does. The very dated pop punk soundtrack.
Oh man, yeah, no, that it sparked the show. I mean, I remember us going over perfect video games. Before I sold the collection and I brought the 64 over to your house.
Yep. We had a literal pissing contest, which was great.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. I'm going to die on this hill forever. Perfect party game. It is the perfect party, sit on the couch, co-op, have fun. More than GoldenEye. Which speaking of, before I moved, we had a GoldenEye binge.
Yeah, I remember that because it came out on Xbox, and so it had not bad graphics, and so I could, friggin' knife you from across the room. That's what I meant to say. Knife you from across the map. There we go. That's the words.
Yeah, we learned on that day John is an expert at throwing knives. We also learned on that day John is not an expert at proximity mines, and that's
no one is. No one is good at proximity mines. You just kind of try and hang on.
John, that was the best. For like 3-minute stretch, we've just killed each other a bunch. We're both in the negative, so the match is going on a long time. We just set it to 10 kills, and John's walking, dies, and he's just like, "Damn it!" John respawns, opens the door, boom, dies, and he's like, "Damn it!" And then he respawns in the complete opposite area, so he's thinking he's safe. Boom, dies.
Boom.
And he's like,
no.
And he's like, was that one mine? And I was like, yeah, you just killed yourself.
God dang it. No, I'm reminded of an old episode of Game Grumps where they played frickin' GoldenEye with Thomas Middleditch and some other guy. And they were just like, that was happening to Aaron the entire time, was just like, oh, look, body armor, boom. And he was just like, he was at every spawn point, there was a mine waiting for him. It's just like, what the hell? I can't even play.
Oh, man, that was good times.
Yeah, it was fun. And man, I haven't touched GoldenEye a long time now. Friggin'.
Well, you touch GoldenEye all the time.
That is because gold comes out if you're not hydrated. I get it. Okay. I'm trying to like I couldn't speak. I just couldn't speak for a minute. I was like, wait a minute.
Did James just get me?
No. Anyway,
it's
again, and I had to stop. I had to put the brakes on the show for a second.
We gave you beautiful one-liners of I have an iPad. I'm not poor.
You can play it on your phone. I have an iPad. I'm not poor. Like immediately that came out, and I was just like, wow, John, good going.
Oh man. And to this day, it is still probably one of the funniest lines of the show.
Probably. Because like now I'm gonna be on the spot of like I can do better than that.
Gotta think. One episode left. Let's go.
Yeah, friggin'. And this is the tonal whiplash I think our meat sponges, I can't believe I'm calling them that, are used to at this point, because like we'll talk about like, oh yeah, I was rehabbing, and then now we're talking about flossing,
people being
money.
Poor.
Yeah, like friggin'. This is one of those things where I actually, in terms of like the outside of the show, because in terms of the inner workings of it, it really is just the two of us talking about whatever we want. And that's fun. That's kind of the whole point of the show. That's how it started. You don't really think of it as going anywhere, but then you think about the people who we've met and the people we've worked with and collaborated with and all sorts of stuff. And I think about, the Gaming and Collecting podcast, and I think about when we were on...
when you got out-knowledged by Bill?
Yeah, and then I remember making Liv cry from saying my stuff about PlayStation.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the first time he has ever openly accepted being out-knowledged by Bill.
I still knew Sonic's Christian name.
Yeah, but he had like 4 on you.
Whatever. If I can get one, that's, boom. But I still vividly remember saying my piece on Horizon and just having Liv be mad at me about that. That was fun.
Oh man! And then you got to be a guest for the Bomb Rush, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk, and
Jet Set Radio.
Yep, that was a fun one too. And
it's wild to see how many places we've gone, how many shows we've been a part of. We got so this is by no means the end of what you're going to see from us, because we still do shout out to Quit the Build. We still do write with Quit the Build.
I think you do a lot more. And also shout out to, Nick and Bruno as well. Frickin'.
Because you got to be a guest.
I did, and that was fun. And I found out that, Bruno was in Portland. I'm just like, oh man, how's my hometown doing? It's like, yeah, whatever.
Oh man, it is crazy to just as you look back on the episodes, it's kind of like remember the old little clicky kaleidoscope viewy thingies we had as kids, the red ones?
Yeah, the ones where you put a little spiral of photos and you'd flip through. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the name of that thing was. I just know it was red and you put a disc of photos in it.
I'm sure it's something like Viewmaster or some crap like that. I don't know.
But as
we are both on computers where we could find the answer, and have phones next to our hands right now where we could look up the answer. We're not going to,
because it's not fun.
Yeah, no, answers are boring. It's better to have questions.
But it's going through the episodes. It's kind of that. It's the you see the episode and then the memory comes up with it. It's awesome. We went from doing the show in person, so where John still works at, where I used to work at, we would go over to our studio and we would record in person. It was like a cool weekend tradition. Grab some breakfast, joke around, dive into the episode, and then we still found a way to make it work. I'm in Utah, and
Yeah.
he's still in his favorite state.
Yeah, my favorite. So much fun.
You know, that I hope for your going away, whenever you do move, I hope they get you like a cowboy hat and a cowboy belt and some boots and be like, you'll forever be a Texan. And that would be the best thing ever.
And just, this is an audio podcast, but put that picture up of SpongeBob throwing the paper in the fire and warming his hands.
Oh man, this has been a lot of fun. For me, honestly, like the biggest thing with this, we both have kind of pushed each other. We both have gone out of our comfort zones when it comes to gaming. I've been able to enjoy games you've recommended, vice versa. We've all got from Tales of Berseria to Lost Sphere. And every other one, John gave it the good old college try.
The swings and misses, yes.
To me, playing Death Stranding, by the way, I forgot to tell you that.
Wow.
Right? I came a long way.
My voice dropped an octave when you said that. I was like, wow.
This is my voice after dark.
Yeah. If you want to find Just John on OnlyFans, actually, that'd be a good name. I should just take that. Anyway, no. But are you enjoying Death Stranding? That's the question now.
So I tried it. Like, I haven't come back to it. It wasn't bad. I mean, I still do believe it's walking simulator game.
Yeah.
But it's a very beautifully crafted game.
Yeah. I remember having my opinions of it until I played it for the first time. And then, like, when I was in that world and kind of working within its systems, I was just like, oh, I get it now. And then I thoroughly enjoyed it. Although, friggin', okay, we're going to talk about how some games just need to end once as opposed to ending 20 times. Because the same thing happened with Grand Blue Fantasy. And as I was finishing that game and like, oh, we unleashed the gods and here, get away, or we converted this person and then we get into the portal and then we're separated and then we reunited. It's like, I felt the same way when Death Stranding just wouldn't end. Because there's the giant, like, crazy ink whale fight. There's the frickin' you actually deliver the packages and get to the West Coast and have a fight with Higgs. You frickin' have to trek all the way back, and then you go to the incinerator and bring, the baby. And it's just like, you didn't need all of this. You just needed one of these things to happen. You don't need... It's like, what is this current obsession with modern gaming where they just say, like, well, what would be a good ending? Well, instead of giving them 1, let's give them 12. Like, I don't get it. It's driving me crazy. Like, you can tell how my posture went up. I was just so livid about this, because as I was finishing Grand Blue, I was just like, please stop. Just stop. You've done it. You did the thing. Just please stop.
You mean you're not going to go back for the post-game stuff to get stronger?
No.
Well, you're dead to me.
Well, that game is dead to me. So, whatever.
Oh man, no. It's weird in gaming right now. Like, you look at Dragon's Dogma 2. So it came out, everybody, like, the people who were wanting that game were hyped. And then the microtransactions.
I think people are still hyped about that game because I'm seeing clips of things just happening in that game world. And I talked to my buddy recently because it was his birthday. I gave him a call. And he's like, yeah, the 2 games I've been wanting for years just finally came out, and that's Dragon's Dogma 2 and Helldivers 2. So,
speaking of a game that you and I wrote off, we were like, oh, there's another Helldivers. Remember when we said that? And I think it was like almost 5 or 6 episodes ago.
Yeah, it was the Sony State of Play, and they led with Helldivers, and I'm just like, who cares? And then apparently everyone did. So, yay.
It is taking the world by storm. Also, forgot to let you know, this one will make you hopefully cackle a little bit. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth hits February 29th. Unicorn Overlord hits March 8th. And guess what happened in Japan? Just take a guess.
I don't know.
Unicorn Overlord took over Final Fantasy VII's sales spot. Unicorn Overlord is the #1 game being sold in Japan.
Damn. Is it not just because it's new? or they only sold one more copy than the other guys. But
No, it was by like 50,000 a week.
wow, good on them. I think that people are finally learning, like, gooning over Tifa is the only thing that it can't be the only thing you have in your game. Because when that game, when Rebirth 2, like when Rebirth 2, when Final
Rebirth
Fantasy 7
2.
Rebirth came out, and everybody was just like, yo, Tifa's titties. It's like, we know, we know.
I mean, the Aerith death scene in Rebirth, though. Oh my gosh.
Within the first like 5 minutes, or the other one.
I hate you.
I refuse to play this game. This because I'm actually watching a playthrough of it from someone who actually likes Final Fantasy VII a lot and enjoys it. I'm watching him play it, and every time a character opens their mouth, I just want to die. Like, I am just over this fucking video game. I just can't do it. Even watching it, I'm just like, ugh.
Rude.
I'm sorry. It's just so not for me in any way. And I'm watching people play it, and they're just like, ugh. Just go and kill some monsters. I don't know.
Oh man, no. This is like we've honestly said it every year on the podcast. This is a great year for gaming. Honestly, I feel like, since you and I first met. So I first met John in 2019. 2019, 2020, all the way to present. Like, it's just been, oh, cool, you did that. Hold my beer. I'm going to make it better. And we're kind of blessed as gamers. Like, 2024 is shaping up to be hella, hella, hella good.
It's almost as if there was kind of a lull that happened over a period of 2 and some change years that maybe made it so that gaming now is kind of looking a bit brighter. Oh, how about that?
Hey, you say a lull. COVID was great. Do you know how much gaming I did when we were trapped in our houses?
I just want to, okay, I think that topped the I'm poor line right there. COVID was great. What the fuck? Come on.
So, you know where I used to live. I was right near downtown. I had a grocery store less than 30 seconds away from my house. I had food for days. I was just straight chilling. I logged in. What are you doing today? Oh, I'm checking my emails. Blah, 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 blah. And then poof. And it was glorious gaming time.
COVID was great. Damn it. Look, no, I can't say that. It's terrible.
We worked one day every 2 weeks.
Okay. Kayfabe aside and all that kind of crap, like, COVID was a horrible blight on humanity, and we all know this. And we were very fortunate to have the positions we did, that we were able to withhold and withstand against it, and that's good. I'm thankful for that. I'm truly blessed that we had that. But yeah, being able to stay inside and just game and all that stuff. Yes, it was a very fortunate circumstance to be in. Yes.
It was super chill.
Cool.
No,
great.
And then post-COVID, like October, actually, so you guys get more inside talk. September of 2021, end of September is when that IGN list first came out. And John and I were tossing the idea back and forth. We should podcast about this. We should talk about this. And then we saw the finale. And it was the Grand Theft Auto finale, essentially, in the top 4. It was like...
Yeah, it was GTA 5 versus, like, Breath of the Wild, I think. I honestly don't remember.
And don't forget San Andreas was in the top 4. I think it was 3 Grand Theft Auto games in the top 4. And Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
Like, when I showed him that, I will never forget him at work. He's just like, well, that's stupid.
And I was looking at the bangers of, like, even, like, I wasn't as upset about Chrono Trigger as I maybe would be now, but man, yeah.
So we finally, like, TDYs happen, come back from a TDY, and then we just hit the ground running with this, sitting on his floor for the first episode.
Yep.
Going to Target to get me a Yeti mic, which I still have, by the way.
Yes, because the fact that there are like my first stream kits just for sale at Target now. Like I remember, like I'm gonna get a bit nostalgic about my own kind of presence here on the internet real quick because this is gonna be the final episode of the podcast for a while, and I think about what 2024 actually means for me because I'll tell you right now, 10 years ago, I wanted to make a comic online because I saw other people do it and I wanted to make my own characters and write my own stories and do that whole stuff. And I've been trying to like make a name for myself or just make something for myself on the internet for the past 10 years. And then I think about even further than that, like 20 years ago in 2004, I remember being a kid
when I graduated
in high school. Yeah. And like, I remember being in high school and finding like all these websites of like, hey, you can host your art here. And so this truly, in terms of 2024, it's a seminal moment for me because I remember all of this creative process and trying to like make something and just post something, share things and meet people and stuff for the past 20 years. And like, I met my wife online. I've made wonderful friends online. I've made this show even. I've made the countless projects that I have started and stopped and delayed and pushed and moved around and stuff. Like, that kind of wave is hitting me. And it's hard not to get a bit kind of misty-eyed just thinking about it. Like, I was looking through my old files and I was looking at some of the stuff that I did those years ago. And it just blows me away how much has just changed. Like, my life has changed. And even thinking, 5 years ago, how crazy my life, how different it was. And there's no real, like, end or ending kind of statement to this. It's just me realizing just where my life has been and how I've spent it. And I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of stuff.
It's full circle. Like, if you think about it, the show... So we have to give you meat sponges. We have to give you guys all the praise here because from Algeria to Russia to even China, Japan, countless countries in Europe, multiple countries in South America, to Canada, to here in the US.
Around the world.
You all have listened to us. And it's really cool to think about that because one, in a world that everyone has a podcast,
yeah,
y'all chose to listen to us, and we had an amazing run for over 2.5 years now. Like, we've had just an awesome run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it sounds like I'm at my funeral right now. I swear to God. Like, this is what it sounds like to me when I'm hearing this kind of stuff. But honestly and truly, man.
We know you're not at your funeral because you haven't sent me a text message. Please delete hard drives.
Delete everything. Firebomb. Burn notice. Anyway. No, but I think there's really no other way to really end the episode or even the show with, other than that. Like, just thank you. Thank you all so much for listening, and thank you so much for following us along on this whole ride. And who knows if we're ever going to come back, because I remember having the energy at the start of the year to be all like, we're going to stream and we're going to do more stuff and we're going to build this brand together. And now it's just kind of like,
those promises we made.
Anyway, sometimes putting things out there helps. Sometimes putting things out there holds you accountable or encourages you. And sometimes it's just like, well. I don't know, man. I think that's kind of it. I think we just say our thank yous and we go head out.
So the show is not dead per se. Everything is still going to be on YouTube. So
yes, that's actually That's actually going to be, I wanted to say that too. I will make sure to download every episode I can from our current host and make sure that we make the migration to YouTube because, yeah, there's like over 100 episodes and I got to save out all of them. Oh my God.
So this has been such an awesome ride. I couldn't have had a better co-host and a better friend doing this with. I will never. I'm going to give you guys more insider information. John's first day at work. Walks into the office. He's at parade rest. So for all you non-military people, that's where your hands are behind your back and you're kind of waiting for an order.
Yeah.
Myself and my first airman, shout out Alexis. Hope you're doing well. If you listen to the show still, if not, still hope you're doing well.
Wow. Okay.
We had set up a bunch of army men, like the cheap dollar store army men.
Yeah. The green little plastic figurines.
All over his desk. And the normal reaction from somebody when they see that is like, what the heck? Or, huh?
Yeah.
And John just stands there at parade rest. No emotion. And I'm just like, well, practical joke ruined.
I can suck the fun out of a room. Do not put that past me.
And we start talking. We talk about different games. I let John borrow Horizon Zero Dawn. And then the moment that cements everything for this friendship, we watch Final Fantasy VII Advent Children at Work. And higher up comes in who's like, what are you doing? And without missing a beat, John and I are like, well, we're watching this so we can actually show animation transitions. And I'm trying to show the power of what animation can do when it represents video transitions and what we do here at the Third.
Yeah, and like cinematography and how staging shots can be, and like taking it from something that's, you know, entertaining as this and trying to apply to our productions.
And we gotta carry on.
Yep. that was an immediate like grenade, like jump on the grenade, and it worked.
Oh man. And then more inside fun work knowledge. So 2021 Christmas time.
Oh boy.
And so 2020 Christmas time. Actually, you know, before we do that one, 2020 Christmas time. So we're kind of slowly coming back into the office. Work tempo around the world is increasing with the COVID vaccines and everything. And we're in the office, and shout out Kevin, guy we work with. Kevin was like, who do you think could eat this, Sergeant Thomas? And he looked over and he's like, Crow could eat that. In his words, Crow could fucking eat that. And I look at John and I'm like, hey, you want to do a food challenge with me? And he's like, sure.
No, I want to put it back in that headspace because I had to like look at the ground and just be like, yes. Like I had that moment of actual pause where you could hear the gears turning in my mind where I'm like, is this what I'm doing today? Yes.
So at work, at work, it was 3 double cheeseburgers, 3 Whoppers, and 3 fries that we had to eat.
And I didn't get a drink either.
I did. I wasn't dumb. We both finished, and that was awful.
Yeah. At the same time, I'm like, I used to be a professional fat guy. I know how to handle this. My favorite part was when we were talking about how like Logic was black, and Sergeant Thomas was like, "What?" And you started laughing. You're like, "Oh God, it hurts."
You could literally like poke my belly and just feel the food.
Yeah, I think your wife even did that. It was just like, how? How did you? Why did you do this to yourself?
So we're going to fast forward because apparently at Christmas is when the crazy stuff happened at work. So Christmas 2021, I have a Packy 1 chip challenge.
Oh boy. Yeah, that one.
And we had just come off of our first Christmas episode. And that was super fun because we had literally recorded that the day before this happened. And like, as I saw that episode, it like sparked this memory. So I bring it in. I'm like, John, you think you can do this? And I was like, you just have to take a bite. And John eats the whole thing.
Yep.
I still have the video recording of you walking around pacing, looking like your life is about to end.
Yep. And I didn't get water or anything to drink for like 2 hours after that. I was actually still trying to work, and I was just like, oh God.
What have I done to myself?
Yeah. Yeah. Good question.
Is this the start of my villain arc?
No, I started my career wanting to be Captain America. Now I want to be Doctor Doom.
Dr. Poops Day.
Oh God.
So
that was way too off the cuff to not be real, and I fear what that's from.
Oh man. And then we fast forward Christmas 2022. Nothing really crazy happens, but we get into GoldenEye. And for a period of, honestly, it was like 4 hours, we were just engrossed in GoldenEye.
Yep.
From we were at the temple, both of us were at the door. He's raising it, I'm lowering it. He's raising it, I'm lowering it. He's raising it, I'm lowering it.
Why are the doors so slow?
To random grenade launchering people from across the map in the pyramid level.
That is so fun. That was just fun.
It's come full circle in the sense that this is a really good send off. Like John said, we really appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in to listen to all of our craziness, these hilarious stories, one-liners for days. So I challenge all of you, go back and listen to from episode 1 to now and see how many one-liners you can quote John on.
Yeah, wow. Even I don't remember all of them because, like, I'm just not the biggest fan of the show, so I don't really listen to it. I'm kidding, but no, like, I don't think there's another way to really end it than that. I guess coming back to what I said before, just thank you all for listening. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and I guess with nothing else really to say, I think the best thing we can say is I'm John,
and I'm James,
and this has been Games with John and James.
You can still find us on YouTube. So for all of you who missed the sound of our illustrious, beautiful voices
and our very correct opinions,
please go there, listen. We might be back. Life gets busy, especially when you're in the military. The further in you get, the busier you get.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this was awesome. Thank you all again so much. Please listen to us on YouTube. If you don't, you're not meat sponges.
That's the worst thing that you can ever say about anybody, I think.
And with that, I feel like the proper send off here is Sonic Heroes.
You know, I'm going to make that just for you. I'm going to make that our outro music. Here we go.
Aw.
All right. Bye, everybody. It's been real. Until we meet again. Bye-bye.
See ya.